headlines, Ghana and Japan sign agreement to support human resource development.
Political parties encouraged to inculcate SDGs into manifestos.
And in foreign news, Egypt's airplane wreckage found near Greek island.
Hello, good evening, and thanks so much for joining us. This is News Hour live on your all news channel GBC24 and GTV. My name is Akpene Avo Ajaja.
And my name is Selike Makolachi Apollo. Many thanks for joining us. Now the news in detail. Ghana and Japan have signed an agreement for scholarships under the African Business Education Initiative.
The agreement signed in Tokyo during President Mohammed's visit is to support human resource development in Ghana.
This is President John Mohammed's second visit to Japan since he assumed office. The first was in 2013 when he attended the Tokyo International Conference on Africa and Development, TICAD. The latest trip to Japan by the Ghanaian leader is occasioned by his state visit under invitation by the Japanese government. The president, who is accompanied by the First Lady, Lordina Mahama, paid a courtesy call on Emperor Akihito and Empress Michiko in Tokyo. The Ghanaian delegation later met with the Japanese Prime Minister Shinzo Abe, at which several agreements were signed. Japan has restored its yen loan portfolio to Ghana, out of which several projects will be financed. Japan has thus approved the proposal for the construction of a new bridge across the Volta River as part of the Eastern Corridor Road Development Project. The second phase of the Sekondi Fishing Harbour will also be financed from the yen loan portfolio. A new advanced research center for infectious diseases at the Noguchi Memorial Institute for Medical Research at Legon will also be constructed. The First Lady also met with the Association of Wives of African Heads of Mission in Tokyo and leaders of some Japanese women groups.
Moving on to politics, the Inter-Party Advisory Committee, IPAC, has met to discuss the EC's report on the just-ended limited voter registration exercise. Top on the agenda are the EC's plans to audit the register ahead of the November polls and the exhibition of the register. The number of complaints received during the registration were also discussed. And moving on, and still on politics, as Ghana gears up for the 2016 elections, Star Ghana, in collaboration with ISODEG and the Peace Council, are advocating for an issue-based election. At the forum in Accra, the two bodies encourage political parties to include the SDGs in their manifestos.
The Sustainable Development Goals are a global and comprehensive action plan important to a country's core development policy. This agenda is a plan of action for people, the planet, and prosperity. It also seeks to strengthen universal peace. The latest forum by Star Ghana was to encourage political parties to inculcate in their manifestos the SDGs and how it will be implemented.
The forum here is to try and encourage the political parties to look at these 17 goals. Look at it, look at their own program, their own manifesto, and see whether they can bring their agenda of development within this framework.
Top on the agenda is strengthening the link between party manifestos and the Sustainable Development Goals. This, Professor Kwame Kakari said, will ensure that political parties carry out their manifestos to the latter. The chairman of the National Peace Council, the Most Reverend Professor Emmanuel Asante, emphasized that political party manifestos must drive the agenda during elections.
The Sustainable Development Goals, SDGs, unlike the Millennium Development Goals, were arrived at with the support and collaboration of various national development plans. A 40-year development plan currently being rolled out by the National Development Planning Commission is therefore anchored on the SDGs. It is my hope that with this project by ISODEC and Star Ghana, political parties will go back to the drawing board and offer not just alternatives, but solutions and programs that will meet our mutual national aspiration and goals of a prosperous nation.
Globally, the 17 Sustainable Development Goals will guide policy and funding for the next 15 years, beginning with a historic pledge to end poverty. For GBC24, Shelley Annan reports in.
Presiding Bishop of the Methodist Church of Ghana, Most Reverend Titus Awotri Pratt, says political parties must lead the campaign for peace before, during and after the polls. Addressing a joint service by the Ghana Catholic bishops and heads of member churches of the Christian Council of Ghana in Accra, Most Reverend Awotri Pratt called for peaceful coexistence among political parties.
The Ghana Catholic Bishops' Conference, which coincided with the Golden Jubilee celebration of the St. Theresa's Catholic Church at Kaneshie, brought together Christians from charismatic Pentecostal, Orthodox and other churches. The members prayed for the poor, sick and needy. They also interceded for the nation, the leaders and for peaceful 2016 elections. The presiding Bishop of Methodist Church of Ghana, Most Reverend Titus Awotri Pratt, urged Christians to be tolerant and be ready to share their faith with people from different backgrounds.
God has fulfilled himself in several ways and forms down the ages. And so we see ourselves as brothers and sisters of the kingdom, each tradition performing functions and roles that God assigns them through the power and the presence of the Holy Spirit.
The joint service was also used to commemorate the 86th year of the existence of Christian Council of Ghana. The General Secretary of Christian Council of Ghana, Reverend Dr. Kwabna Oponifrempong, called on leaders of political parties to educate their supporters about peaceful coexistence.
We are one people with many faiths. Ghana is one, and we must find strength in our diversity. You know, we don't need one political party, we need several, and that is our strength. It's not weakness. And so we will plead with our politicians that they should see diversity as strength.
The conference was under the theme "In Partnership with God in His World Mission."
And to the Meet the Press series in Accra, Ghana and the Republic of Korea have signed a memorandum of understanding to start the second phase of the Akumadan irrigation project. This was disclosed by the Minister for Agriculture, Alhaji Muniru Lumina, at the Meet the Press series.
Agricultural crops including yams, grains, cocoa, oil palms, cola nuts and timber form the base of agriculture in Ghana's economy in the year of 2013. Agriculture in Ghana provides employment for about 53.6% of the total labor force in Ghana on a formal and informal basis. Ghana produces a variety of crops in various climatic zones, which range from dry savanna to wet forest. Taking his turn at the Meet the Press series in Accra, the Minister for Agriculture, Alhaji Muniru Lumina, made presentations on the interventions, achievements, and the way forward for the agricultural sector.
The achievements under extension services. 988 farmer-based organizations were formed and their capacity built, bringing the cumulative total number of farmer-based organizations to 3,955, made up of 56,215 males and 53,522 females. 1,500 agriculture extension agents have been trained and resourced with smartphones to disseminate information to farmers and other stakeholders under the e-agriculture program.
Alhaji Lumina also spoke on the progress of the various crops and policies for farmers that are underway.
300 hectares of cassava primary planting materials have been established at the Mofa agriculture stations. 195.5 hectares of foundation seeds was established to produce a total quantity of 248.7 metric tons of seeds of the various crops. The 200 metric tons of agra rice seeds have been produced and distributed to 10,096 farmers in 121 districts across the country.
That agriculture is still the backbone of the economy, and government is committed to ensuring the sector maintains its lead as the biggest contributor to the GDP.
The government of Ghana and the federal state of North Rhine-Westphalia of Germany have signed a deal for their mutual development. The two sides will exchange notes and allow each other to replicate some of the best practices across their geographical space.
There were exchange of notes following the new agreement of cooperation between the government of Ghana and the government of the federal state of North Rhine-Westphalia, Germany. Due to the concentrated nature of decision-making at the central government and official levels on both sides, it slowed down project implementation to a large extent. However, the latest agreement seeks to include the private sectors, civil society organizations, religious bodies, and local authorities to drive project implementation. Ghana's ambassador to the Federal Republic of Germany, Ms. Equiasana Dansua, expressed gratitude to the Germans for showing remarkable interest in working with Ghana.
I'm happy and indeed satisfied that we now have a new agreement that is richer in content and more focused on delivering the best results for both Ghana and the federal state of North Rhine-Westphalia.
The Minister of Tourism, Culture and Creative Arts, Mrs. Elizabeth Ofosu-Adjorey, who stood in for the Foreign Minister, said it is worthy to note that Germany is ready to offer support to Ghana outside the priority areas of cooperation.
The government of the federal state of North Rhine-Westphalia has already established some partnership with Ghanaian institutions through which it is financing various projects, including the Kwame Nkrumah University of Science and Technology, the Okomfanochi Teaching Hospital, and the Cape Coast Municipal Assembly under the Born Cape Coast Sister City Partnership. We hope such collaborative efforts would be sustained in the years ahead.
The Minister for Federal Affairs, Europe and Media of the state of North Rhine-Westphalia, Mr. Franz Joseph Lechmense, indicated his intentions of visiting some jointly sponsored projects.
Over the past few years, a lot of successful joint projects have been set up, and I'm looking forward to visiting some of them over the next few days. To name but a few of these success stories, Cape Coast and its sister city Bonn, which is, by the way, my hometown, have recultivated the Fosu Lagoon as part of a 4-year project. Universities of Kumasi, Dortmund and Gelsenkirchen are working together in the field of renewable energies.
The 3-year bilateral cooperation covers 2015 to 2017 and it will offer 100 million euros to Ghana. The money will be used on agriculture, the decentralization program, vocational education, development of renewable energy and national budget.
And moving on to security, 500 recruits have passed out after going through intensive training to become prison support staff. The training forms part of the Youth Employment Agency's prison module course. The recruits will be deployed to all the 43 prisons across the country.
The 500 recruits are made up of 300 males and 200 females. The Ghana Prisons Authority said, hopefully, 80% of the recruits will be engaged permanently after they have finished serving in the Youth Employment Agency. Addressing the parade, the Deputy Executive Officer in charge of finance of the Youth Employment Agency, Mr. Emmanuel Kukwudro, said it is the mandate of government to see to it that the youth are employed, hence the move to roll out the program.
I am aware that you who are passing out today have been trained extensively in areas such as community education, teaching assistants, auxiliary health care, self-defense, basic prisons duties, first aid, and ICT. All these courses were held at the training school and were dispensed by the prison staff. There is no doubt that through this high-level training, you are now fully equipped for the future responsibilities.
Two of the recruits, namely Victor Raymondson Ayete and Emefa Agbavo, were honored for their outstanding performance during the training. The recruits could not hide their joy, but have to burst into spontaneous jubilation.
Still on security, the police says its recruitment website continues to encounter petty challenges due to the rush of large number of applicants to enter and load information and images at the same time. As the police continues to improve the situation, it is entreating applicants to exercise patience. The police administration says whoever purchases the voucher before the expiration of the deadline will be given the opportunity to finish and submit his or her application. Moving on, Appointed Time Screen Printing has donated educational and building materials to the Mama Stella Early Childhood Development Center in Accra.
Appointed Time Screen Printing Limited has been in business in Ghana since June 2003. The company prides itself as the country's leading providers of corporate promotional merchandise. The firm carries out screen printing, heat transfer printing, digitized embroidery, and large format printing. Marking their customer service week, workers of the firm extended a helping hand to Mama Stella Early Child Development Center. Items donated included stationery, toys, confectionaries, and hardware equipment. The general manager of Appointed Time Screen Printing Limited, Mrs. Jacqueline Affo, explained the rationale for giving back to the school.
Giving back to the community where we started as a business in Jamestown, where we existed there for 10 years before moving to our current location in Adabraka. What we did today is to go back there, one of the deprived school there named Mama Stella Early Childhood School. We went there and we gave a donation and we dined with the kids today.
The headmistress of the school, Mama Stella, expressed gratitude to the company and promised that the items will be put to judicious use.
This is News Hour live on your news channel GBC24 and GTV.
We'll take a quick break and return with what's happening in business.
Hello, good evening and welcome. We are grateful to have you join us for the business segment of the news. I am Dorothy Ajimai. The head of corporate affairs of the Volta River Authority, Gertrude Kumson, says all the 6 turbines of the Akonsombo Dam are in good shape, but the water level is below expectation, making it difficult to operate at the maximum level. The drop in water level in the last 3 years has forced the authority to operate only 3 of the turbines.
The Akosombo Dam has been a major source of electricity for the past 40 years. Ghana's generation mix consists of 52% hydro, 36% thermal, and 0.1% solar. Independent power producers generate 12% of thermal power. The Akosombo Dam experienced its maximum water levels of 276.41 feet on November 1974. The lowest water level ever recorded was 235.76 in June 1984. In 2014 and 2015, the water levels in the Volta Lake reduced significantly due to the Harmattan season. The minimum operating water level for the dam is 240 feet. And at this level, authorities are required to shut the turbines to save the plant. At its peak, the plant generates a maximum of 1,200 megawatts of electricity every day for the national grid. However, the head corporate affairs for VRA, Gertrude Kumson, said the water level is now hovering around 237.10 feet. after the water levels dropping drastically last year. The levels are now hovering around 237.10 feet, and this is affecting power generation.
The water level at our Kosombo Dam as of this morning is 237.10 feet. And this means that we are not operating at the maximum level that we need to operate all 6 turbines. So what we're doing now is running it between 3, 4, 5 turbines, depending on the demand. And so during off-peak, Akosombo Dam runs around 3 turbines. Then in the evenings, when demand is peak, when it's peaking from 6 p.m., we increase it to about 5. So that is what is happening. So we are expecting that with the onset of the rains, especially from the northern sector, the water level will rise gradually until we come to a point where we are comfortable to operate all 6 turbines.
Energy experts say due to the changes in weather patterns, countries, especially developing countries, must look for other sources of energy like coal and solar, which are more sustainable and reliable than thermal sources.
A program that seeks to provide an enabling environment for Ghanaian businesses, both in and outside the country, has been launched in Accra. The diplomatic fair aims to bring diplomats across the globe onto one platform for exhibition and knowledge sharing. The Minister for Trade and Industry, Mr. Ekol Gabra, who launched the program, advised Ghanaian businesses to take advantage of the fair to network and expand.
The Diplomatic Fair, formerly known as the Embassy Fair, is an annual event which was instituted in 2012. The fair, which is endorsed by the Ministry of Trade and Industry, Ministry of Foreign Affairs and Regional Integration, and the Office of the Dean of Diplomatic Corps, seeks to create a platform for the diplomatic community in Ghana to showcase their works that contribute to Ghana's socio-economic development. The fair also presents an opportunity for diplomatic organizations to educate and promote their services to the people of Ghana and for the various embassies to engage further with the business community. Launching the 2016 fair, the Minister for Trade and Industry, Mr. Ekol Gabra, said the fair, among other things, provide an opportunity for both existing and budding businesses to network and grow.
Any such diplomatic fair has a very heavy dimension for what you might call trade and industry. There's relevance to investments, relevance to global capital flows, and indeed, as we've also heard, at the center of it all is the growing notion of economic diplomacy.
The Namibian High Commissioner to Ghana, Mr. Charles Josop, lauded Ghana for the initiative and added that the fair will create an enabling business environment for Ghanaians, Africans, and the world at large.
This is a global village, and nobody exists on his or her own anymore. We share experiences, we share expertise, and ultimately we share resources. And it is, if you know where you can get those resources, that you will be able to go and do the business there. At the end of the day, if we interact in this way, I think we'll make much progress at the African continent level, at the international trade level.
Unibank, who is the lead sponsor of this year's diplomatic fair, presented a check of 50,000 Ghana cedis to help support the program. The fair comes off on the 16th and 18th of June 2016 at the Accra International Conference Center.
The European Union's Trade for supported related assistance and quality enabling program track, under which Ghana receives support for its trade with the EU, is to end in the next 12 months. Track is expected to invest 15 million euros to strengthen the capacity of the Trade Ministry in the areas of policy analysis and formulation, as well as the implementation of trade agreements. The Deputy Minister for Trade and Industry, Mutala Mohammed, said the program has assisted the country to implement the needed measures to achieve international standards.
EU-Ghana trade accounted for 30.5% of the country's total trade in 2013. The EU is also the leading destination for Ghana's exports, absorbing 48% of exports in 2013. To help improve the trade relations between the two, the EU established the TRAQ program in 2011. Since then, TRAQ has supported a number of institutions, including the Ghana Standards Authority and Food and Drugs Authority. With 12 months to go for the TRAQ program, the steering committee has met in Accra to examine the progress of the program. The Deputy Minister for Trade and Industry, Mr. Murtala Mohammed, noted that the TRAQ program has helped the country to improve the quality of its goods to the European markets.
There have been some refurbishment, some new modern scientific equipment have been given to the Ghana Standard Authority, the Food and Drugs Authority, to help them improve upon the quality of their services. And it all boils down to the need for us to all collectively help improve upon the quality of the goods that we produce. Mind you, there have been instances where certain goods that are exported into the European market have been banned because they were considered as substandard, they were considered non-conforming to the European market standard, or if you like, the international standard.
The head of cooperation of the European Union delegation to Ghana, Mr. Ignacio Burrell, said TRAQ has contributed greatly to the lifting of the ban on a number of items.
We believe that now we are continuing to support the country to have the required measures and structures to be able to implement the economic partnership agreement that the EU is about to sign.
The TRAQ program aims at offering continuous support to the Ministry of Trade and Industry with special attention on issues such as post-economic partnership agreements implementation support.
You're watching the business segment of the news. And on the interbank market, the cedi appreciated 2 pesos against the euro, lost 6 pesos to the pound sterling, and maintained its value against the dollar to sell at 3 cedis 82 pesos. Coming up is the board. On the commodity market, cocoa increased by $2 to sell at $2,933 per ton. Light crude and gold, on the other hand, lost 83 cents and $2.50 respectively by the close of trade. This segment was brought to you by Airtel and Ernest Chemist.
You're welcome back. You're still watching News Hour live here on GTV and GBC24, and I'm Evans Achampo with the health segment. Over 100 health professionals from diverse backgrounds across the country have been trained on snake bites and how to manage it effectively in order to prevent avoidable deaths. The joint initiative of the Noguchi Memorial Institute and Farmanova aims at equipping participants with latest trends in snake bite management. The last couple of years have witnessed reports of snake bites in the Upper East and Ashanti regions. A report by Gifty Eje.
The World Health Organization says globally there are 3,000 snake species which are not poisonous, and only 200 are considered venomous. However, snake bite fatalities are common in many parts of the world, with an estimated 20,000 deaths reported annually in sub-Saharan Africa. In Ghana, winning the fight against snake bites, according to experts, is still an albatross around the necks of policy makers. In recent times, there were reports of shortage of snake serums in health facilities, especially in the northern part of the country. Besides, there were some victims too who reported late at hospitals to receive treatment. This has prompted researchers together with an international pharmaceutical company, Pharmanova, to educate selected health workers to upgrade their frame of reference in terms of usage of some of the reliable world brand serums in treating snake bite, proper ways of storing the anti-snake serums, and the general patient care. Dr. Aye is with the Gucci Memorial Hospital and described the workshop as timely.
And what we did briefly was just gather some data from the district hospitals in Bolga area. And we could get, within 1 year, that we got data for 2013. And the snake bite prevalence was almost 50%. Yes, which is quite alarming.
Dr. Philippe Chipo has done an extensive study into snakes. He hopes to see some policy change on the calendar of the Ghana Health Service, which will make this area of medicine a priority. The rains have set in. It is anticipated that cases of snake bite will become one of the most reported OPD cases, particularly in the rural areas. Mr. Boatin, a former worker of the Nguchi Institute and a lover of snakes, gave some tips in instances of snake bites.
You have to apply tonic, which means when it beats you here, you have to put a rope here, tie it up. Then you make the second tight up, so that the venom can't come up to you. Then you rush to the hospital.
Now, the family doctor has become an integral part of healthcare delivery due to the consistency with which they attend to patients. Patients are able to receive prompt specialist care because of the family doctor's knowledge and patient's traits and history. As the world celebrates the family doctor, attention is being drawn to the harmful and devastating effects of tobacco usage, hence the theme Smoking Cessation, a report by Sarah Ofori.
Ideally, everybody must have a family doctor from whom they receive primary health care. A family doctor is specially trained in family medicine to enable them to diagnose all kinds of diseases and conditions, manage and refer patients to specialists. They also undertake minor surgeries.
When the person sees your family all the time, they know the diseases that run through. They know the kind of screening programs or things to look out for you as you grow older.
So sometimes we would see even generations, would deliver babies, see the grandchildren, etc.
The concept of family medicine makes sense. A doctor who knows you from way back, knows your physical constitution, your vulnerabilities, your history.
These doctors usually develop long-lasting personal relationship with their clients. It is actually cost-effective.
The impression that it's only the affluent who can afford to see a specialist family physician, that is not true. What it is we are usually the front liners. We are the front or primary care doctors. So we are the first people you'll approach when you come to a health facility.
We work at the Kolebu Polyclinic where the masses come. It's not necessarily the affluent that we see here. And we are practicing we are giving them the continuing kind of care, comprehensive care, and we are coordinating their care too. So we are doing it right here where it's not the affluent who really come here.
Family doctors are usually based at the polyclinics and district hospitals. Currently, there are 50 pioneers of family medicine who are mainly into private practice, 60 new family doctors, mainly concentrated in Accra and Kumasi, and 42 doctors under training in the country.
Generally, when you are a fit client, you walk in, and then we see you continuously over the period. But if for some reason you're not able to, we sometimes can come to you on a one-on-one basis. It's not a general or a big thing that we do, but on a one-on-one basis, we're able to extend care to the home as well.
There are a number of people here who have multi-morbidities. They have hypertension, diabetes, they have osteoarthritis, they have low back pain. Some are seeing specialists, and we are coordinating that care, and they still come back here for their general care.
On the occasion of World Family Doctor Day, the focus is on smoking cessation. Hospitals are supposed to openly display pictorial harmful effects of smoking and also in the consulting rooms.
And the thrust of the day is more on prevention and cessation. For those who do not smoke, we don't want them to start. If you start, you're guaranteeing that there's a high chance you'll die prematurely. Indeed, if you stop today at the age of 50, you've guaranteed that you're not likely to die within the next 15 years of tobacco-related causes.
Routinely, we do take history of tobacco use, alcohol use, etc. So going a step ahead, we need to find out where you are in your readiness to change.
It makes the person's decision to smoke his own decision, because he sees those pictures and then he's able to make an informed choice as to whether to go for this thing. If this is going to end me up in this way, am I going to take it?
Family doctors are to actively engage patients about their tobacco usage and discourage them, as well as keep up the discourse in the family units. Zero for GBC24 Kolebu Polyclinic, Accra.
And that does it for the segment brought to you by FPAC Blows Your Pain Away. Salikem and Akpene return shortly with the international news. Stay tuned.
Welcome back to the news. In the international segment, the first of the missing Nigerian schoolgirls to be rescued from Boko Haram militants has met President Muhammadu Buhari at his villa in Abuja. Amina Ali Nkeki, 19, was found with a baby by an army-backed vigilante group on Tuesday in the huge Sambisa forest close to the border with Cameroon. She was one of the 219 pupils missing since being abducted from a secondary school in the town of Chibok in April 2014. Mr. Buhari said he was delighted she was back and could resume education. Mr. Buhari's spokesman has said the young woman will also be helped to reintegrate into society.
Egypt aviation officials have confirmed that wreckage of Egypt Air Flight MS-804 has been found south of the Greek island of Karpathos. The Airbus A320 was en route from Paris to Cairo with 66 passengers and crew when it went down overnight. Officials say the plane is more likely to have been brought down by a terrorist act than a technical fault. Greek Defense Minister Panos Kamenos told reporters that the plane made two sharp turns and dropped more than 25,000 feet before plunging into the Mediterranean Sea. Search teams in the area have sighted debris from the plane, including life jackets. The search in seas south of Greek island of Karpathos involves Greek and Egyptian naval forces and the British Royal Air Force. And that's all in the international news. Do stay with us. We'll be right back with sports with Theophilus Sampa.
Good evening, let's talk sports. I'm Theophilus Sampa. Medium IC have qualified to the group stage of the CAF Confederations Cup. We'll bring you some highlights from the game. Black Stars ex-captain Stephen Appiah scored on the Osumanche ni Okwekin Kadowona. The visit was to officially invite the chief and the traditional council to the upcoming peace match. The visit by Ghana's peace ambassador for the 2016 general elections, Stephen Appiah and his team, was to officially inform and invite the chief of Osu, ni Okwekin Kadowona, to the upcoming elections 2016 football matches in Accra and Kumasi. The event has been dubbed the Vodafone Unity Match. Led by the CEO of Primeval Media, Larry Opariotu, the team briefed the gathering on their mission. Stephen Appiah then asked for the blessings of the chief for the event.
As a report TV can be by Makuman and go for me back, woman, hey, by no nowhere. Or where peace game, the charity in a fair man in and use of the football. Because football, I can mission near poor. When I'm going to be from care, I will need the team of the mission Yashan, that can be from a thing, George Jeremy, or for the market. Or I use football, you will get a share. Share about peace.
The Osumanche ni Okwekin Kadowona praised Stephen Appiah and his team for the initiative. He pledges total support.
The fair they need a bike where we buy here for nature or I am I go fair okay doing your leg if you go there. Keji ona kukada we need to encourage your attention later doing your leg more your what's you know you care.
In conformity with traditional conventions, Appiah presented the token to the Osu Traditional Council. Stephen Appiah will lead some famous footballers, notably Sol Campbell, George Boateng, Jermaine Defoe, Patrick Kluivert, Clarence Seedorf, Emil Heskey, Edgar Davis, Nunu Gomez, J.J. Okocha and Nwankwo Kanu, among other top-notch footballers, to play Kotoko on June 8 at the Barbara Sports Stadium and on June 11 play the Black Stars at the Accra Sports Stadium. The event will be live on GTV and GTV Sports Plus. World titan chasing brothers Basti and Issa Sameh have announced joining the prestigious Golden Boy promotion syndicate in Las Vegas. The contract is for a 5-year period. At an interaction session with the pressmen, the two promised to bring a world title to Ghana soon.
Started my career in US, so I worked with them before. But for some issue they have issue with my manager, so we stopped working with them. So right now, and I'm just by myself. So we started talking with them again, and they started. They call us back. They said they want us to work with them. So and they bring us a good deal. 5 years, and they promise us they're gonna give us a good fight. They're gonna give us a weight tight. They're gonna give us a shot. So right now, it's us. We need to work hard to make it happen. Golden Boy is a promoter. We just have a promoter contract with Golden Boy, and we have a management contract with our manager too. But right now, our manager is Mr. Odamite, and we're gonna base in US and everything. He's a good guy. Everything he helps us a lot. And he is there for us.
Coach Kenny at the US struck the deal again with the Golden Boy, and they accepted, and we've signed. He signed both of us, my brother and I. So we've signed 5 years contract with Golden Boy, and we now have a manager too. We've signed a manager deal too with Mr. Odamite, the chief accountant of Ghana Cocoa Board. Yeah, and we would like to thank him very much for this opportunity.
Holy Spirit, amen.
Thank you so much for joining us for News Hour. We'll be back at 10:30 with News Tonight.
Have a good evening.